This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Fun program lined up over the next 3 hours. How about this? The Iceman, Chuck Edel, coming up bottom of the hour. He ran away with last year's version of the Friday Night Football Invitational here at Circa. He hit a tremendous percentage of his bets. We'll go over a couple of NFL win totals and one college win total that he likes on the program. Mike Palm, the maestro, for a full hour, Paulie. You're stoked about this today.
Oh, yeah. Got a lot of material. He's got a great story from the World Series of Poker, too. A little Kasuf talk. It'll be interesting.
Oh, speech talk, huh?
Speech talk, speech play. Don't ban me.
Jeff Seeley on the program. Best bets at the 3M Open coming up a little bit later on today as well. Every team now is in training camp in the National Football League. We'll go over some season-long player props in about 15 minutes with some pretty sound analysis that you can find right now on VSiN.com. We'll begin, Paulie, because today we had a plethora of day games in Major League Baseball and a couple games going on as we speak, a couple games that just got started anyway. And some of those that are in the books already, well, I mean, to me, you can kick dirt on the grave for the 2025 Atlanta Braves. They are finished. They are cooked. Put a fork in them. They are done. They got absolutely smoked today with Spencer Strider on the mound and Justin Verlander, his opposition. And Verlander did not have a win on the entire year. He was up to 70 pitches through 3 innings. He was walking the ballpark. Did not allow a hit. Braves could not touch him. And meanwhile, the Giants rocked Strider, and Verlander picks up his first win. That, to me, is like they're waving the white flag at this point. A horrendous display today by the Atlanta Braves.
Yep, he ended his 16-game winless streak. That is bad. Add insult to injury. They beat your brains in again, and then he finally gets a win. So I'm with you there, and I think another one is going on right now in Colorado. 4-0 Rockies on top of St. Louis, and I would expect a fire sale with the Cardinals as well, as they'll wave the white flag too. So I think that's we knew about the Braves pretty much, but this St. Louis was still about, are we in it? Are we out? What's going to happen? Cleveland saying, hey, let's go for it. We're playing good ball. St. Louis now looks like, I mean, it's not going. They're not going to go anywhere, and now you're going to get beat, and Colorado could win back-to-back series for the first time in a year.
Yep, no doubt. Cubs getting pounded as we speak against the Royals, 8-2 there. Do you know what the Royals were to win the series?
Yeah, sure.
Because they're about to take it down now.
Yeah.
And so you have that. Now, the Cubs won yesterday. Matthew Boyd was awesome yet again. Brewers got beat. Great game. We're going to hear from Pat Murphy on what happened last night with The Miz after the game here in a minute. But Cubs won last night. Brewers lost. Back to even now in that division. But now Cubs are getting blasted today. Brewers quickly with a 2-0 lead against Luis Castillo and the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
So that playing a little flip-flop here.
A little surprising because Castillo's been great. 3-0 with a 1.46 going back in his last 4 starts. And no shame in what happened yesterday. Gilbert was good. Raleigh goes deep, and that's it. Tough one to take, but the big story is what happened with Miz. And if you got there, at least you got there with the K props. But that's going to be something to look at moving forward now. But this will be big if they can win today and take the series, yes.
Yeah, 3 2/3, 64 pitches, 7 Ks. They're like, we've seen enough. Get him out of the game. They want to save his arm for the stretch of the season, the back end here, and then into the playoffs, so he's going to be fresh because he's basically never pitched this much in a season in his entire career. And he's out there throwing 100 miles an hour with so many of these pitches.
Well, that's one thing. To me, this reeks of Strasburg Part 2. I hope they don't do that.
Oh, they can't, Paul.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. You can see it coming. They better not do that.
So you explain yourself then. They make the playoffs and
make
maybe
a
even
deep
win the
run.
division.
Sorry, that's it. Yeah. Nah, we're going to wait. His future's so bright. I don't care if we make the playoffs or the World Series. We'll have plenty of opportunities. No, you don't. Ask Dan Marino. That's what Marino said. I'll get to the Super Bowl every year. I got there my rookie year, piece of cake, no problem. I mean, this is an organization that, 1982, they haven't made the World Series. So
I want you to run that by Mike Palm coming up next hour.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it feels like it right now. They can say, well, we're just going to maybe go 4 innings as a start, and then we can ramp them up once it's playoff time, whatever. But I can see it coming. That'll be like, wow, he's got a bright future. He throws so hard. Well, we'll wait on this, and who cares about the playoffs? We'll worry about
Do you know what the national reaction is going to be if the Brewers do that?
Yeah.
Because it was, how many years ago was that with Strasburg? Now, like 15 years?
Yeah.
And it was a gigantic deal back then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's huge.
Yeah, here is the manager of the Brew Crew, Pat Murphy, last night talking about the decision to pull out rookie Jacob Misiorowski.
Yeah, I thought he was very good. Electric in the first inning, and then, it came down a little bit. And by the 50th pitch, you could see his velo coming down, and you could see, that he hadn't been out there in a while. So I was very proud of what he did. I mean, this is a young kid who's had a lot coming at him, and then, didn't give up anything, and really, I felt like did a really nice job.
We're in Ohtani territory now as far as props now moving forward. And thanks to the viewers and listeners out there who were sending stuff in while they were talking about it with the reporter during the game about this is what Milwaukee's going to do now moving forward with them. But now it's like, well, what do you do with the outs? What do you do with the K prop?
Books are going to have to adjust, right?
Yeah, right.
Now, this kid clearly is good enough to go less than 4 innings and still strike out 7 guys. He did it last night. Mariners strike out quite a bit, but so basically the dugout reporter last night was saying that they're going to continue to pitch him every 5 days, but they're going to have 3 long relievers ready to go.
Yeah.
They're going to try to limit his pitches because he's at a career high in innings, and they want to have him healthy and ready for the playoffs. That's the tentative plan going forward. But so how do books adjust the K prop then with this guy? I guess you probably can't make it too low. You make it like
look at last night, right?
I mean, you make it like 4.5, and you juice it like minus 180 to the over, and the kid goes out there and pitches 3 innings and he strikes out 6. I mean,
he had 5 in 2 innings. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
So now it becomes a guessing game. But certainly you're right. You can't go too low because he could come in 6 up, 6 down.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's why they call it gambling, I guess.
As his fans, it's unfortunate, though. But you've also seen plenty of arm injuries and what's going on. And
sure.
Again, as Jensen Lewis was the first guy to talk about this when we were at the College World Series, about just it's violent and what's going on with his delivery.
Sure. And how many, I mean, all these pitchers come in like this now, and they're throwing basically 100 miles an hour. And this guy touches it as much as any player. Like going back, I think I saw since like 2020, how many starting pitchers have touched 100 miles an hour. Hunter Green leads with over 140 pitches. This kid's got like 30 plus already, and he's made 5 starts. Mm-hmm. Like he's going to blow away the competition.
All right, see what Palm thinks. That'll be interesting. Your level of concern with the Tigers.
Well, you got to be, I think,
which
right?
I think it was you and Paul mentioned about, hey, it's Skubal, and then who's behind him? So Mize gets lit up yesterday. We know Flaherty's been bad. Mm-hmm. And then they get torched again. They got swept by the Pirates, who had come in. They lost 11-12.
They just
got
swept by the White Sox.
Yep. So the Tigers have now lost 9-10, and they've been outscored 66-26. And you won 2-1 on Sunday night.
Yeah, and don't forget
That's
again,
the win.
7 of those runs came in one of those games.
Oh, boy. Now, they're going to win the division going away, but it's not that high. But the level of concern come October, I think. I know what they did last year, which was great, but it's like you got to be worried about who you have behind Skubal. Now the bats have gone silent, and what do they do at the deadline coming up?
Mm-hmm. Do you think Cleveland can make it interesting at all? I mean, if there's a team that looks back right now and says, my God, we had a 10-game losing streak like not that long ago, if they would have just gone like 5-5 during that streak, it's not out of the realm of possibility here that Cleveland actually might track down Detroit.
Get it to 4 games, maybe? Make it, yeah, that's possible. They're expecting Bieber back, right? So that could happen. But if they're going to continue to play like this, I mean, come on. You get swept by Detroit, by Pittsburgh, and get it handed to you, anything's possible.
And Mitch Keller did give up a 3-run bomb last night, but overall he was super solid yet again. He is going to go bye-bye at the trade deadline. I mean, I think it's almost like a minor miracle if the Pirates keep him. The season that he is having, again, don't look at record. That means nothing. I think most of you probably know that by this point, but Keller's going to make a nice addition on a team that's going to be a contender. I mean, and by the way, 2 years ago, the guy was really, really good as well. Uh-huh. So if he goes some spot that actually has a decent offense and give him some run support, who knows how big that could be for him.
Right, and I definitely think the Astros are going to be, the Diamondbacks are going to be wheeling and dealing too. That was a good game last night. Valdez was aces again. But as we talked about, the Diamondbacks' bullpen's atrocious. High wire act in the bottom of the 9th, but the Astros win.
Yep.
It's 1-0 Arizona in the 2nd, but you keep losing another series like this, and man, whoever gets Suarez, that's a big move. The way he's playing and how many home runs he's hitting, be a huge bet for a Seattle or somebody like that.
Baseball is such a long season, Paulie. 6 months regular season plus. How many times do you wake up the next day and say, God, do I regret not making that bet? There were 3 last night. I mean, the under in the Brewers-Mariners game just reeked of a score like that. Didn't touch it. The Astros, we talked about that on the show, minus 115. Didn't make any sense to us. The market was all over Arizona. Didn't bet it.
Right.
And another one, like Cubs run line yesterday, Rich Hill on the mound. Rich Hill, 45 years old, and Matthew Boyd has been phenomenal for the Cubs.
Hill wasn't that bad, but...
No, he was fine.
Yeah.
But the pitching matchup absolutely favored the Cubs, and you figured they were going to get to him at some point and put some runs on the board. Minus 120. Nope, no bet there.
Yeah. I think another one was why was Yamamoto so high? There's another one. He had a rough start. How can he be laying that much? And the Dodgers bullpen is terrible right now.
Awful.
What's happened? So, Twins win that game, beat them 10-7, even though Ohtani goes deep in the 9th. That same thing with the Dodgers, right? I mean, Glasnow's good. What happens with Snell? And then what am I doing from a starting pitching staff? I can't trust Yamamoto. How many guys can I trust here in October? You can outscore everybody?
Ohtani might have to go in game 1 of a playoff series.
Right. And how long does he go? I mean, it's just, I've been very disappointed with Yamamoto this season.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, every NFL team is now actively in training camp. We'll give you some season-long player prop bets with some very strong analysis. You can also get it at VSiN.com. Some good prop bets coming up here on VSiN.
What's the guarantee?
Eric? Mike, time to make history. Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole 9, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's Late Night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
On the next Numbers Game, it's Kelly Bidlin alongside Steve Fezzik co-hosting the show. We'll have some fun talking about a bunch of casino things as well as hitting a ton of sports. Zach Cohen joins the show to talk about tennis and college football as VSiN gets set for its college football guide to be released. Steve and myself will talk about the NFC West and why he loves the 49ers so much and maybe hates one of those LA teams. Plenty more to come on a Numbers Game, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Get into the NFL here. Great story up right now, VSiN.com. I tweeted it out earlier today as well at Mitch Moss Radio. Ryan Heath on the network now. We had a great breakdown, fantasy advice, and even like player props, season long that we're talking about. One from every single team in the NFL. Dynamite analysis. Have you done much with any team so far in the NFC South? I bet Bucky Irving here at Circa 67-1 Offensive Player of the Year. I'm close to getting involved with like a win total or two here in this division.
I just did the two coaches, Coach of the Year. That's
right. That's right.
Because I think Tampa could have a big year. And while we don't think highly of Morris or Bowles, I think there's a path where especially Tampa could win a lot of games.
Yep. So this is what Ryan wrote about the Atlanta Falcons. When you look at the full 2024 season, Drake London led the NFL in end zone target share, seeing 56% of the Falcons' end zone targets. Not red zone, end zone. London also commanded 6 end zone looks across Michael Penix's 3 starts. As Ryan writes, in other words, London averaged 117 receiving yards per game and 2 end zone targets per game with Penix, paces that would have led all wide receivers over the last 4 seasons combined. Given Penix's affinity for the deep ball, throwing 20-plus yards downfield at the NFL's 6th highest rate, the Falcons' suspect defense and their only other pass catcher over 6 feet tall is Kyle Pitts, falling to a career-low 67.4% route participation rate last season. London strikes me as one of the better bets to reach double-digit touchdowns in 2025. My apologies. His recommended bet here, London over 6.5 receiving touchdowns for the year. That is strong.
Sounds good, yes. And I'm expecting big things from their offense.
As do I. I think it's going to be, with Penix now in, a guy that can actually move around a little bit. And I think the accuracy is going to come back again because the short stuff and the middle stuff last year wasn't exactly very strong for him. The deep stuff was. I think he'll get that together. And they have too many offensive weapons for this just to be a waste over like a 5-year span. Yeah, I feel the same way about Carolina. I mean, when you look at the numbers and run it, the Carolina should be involved in some high-scoring games too. Could be an over team. Yep. And Ryan wrote about Carolina. When you look only at throws deemed on target, Bryce Young's receivers dropped the most air yards in the NFL last season, 210. Their primary outside receivers, Leggett and David Moore, combined for 11 drops while lined up out wide. Coincidentally, that's the same number of targets Adam Thielen drew from out wide all season. So this is all to say that Young had no dependable outside wide receivers in 2024, and despite the lack of weapons, he ranked top 10 in accuracy and catchable throw rate on throws traveling 20 or more yards downfield, or top 15 in highly accurate throw rate when targeting an outside receiver at 50.7%. So he's looking at their first-round pick in McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. So wide receivers drafted inside the top 10 by the NFL since 2021 have averaged 7.5 targets per game and more than 1,000 receiving yards as rookies. So that tells you that the team drafted them with the intention to have them as a focal point in the offense. And so McMillan's season-long prop at DraftKings, 900-plus yards is 2-1. That's his recommended bet there.
And you know how I feel about Thielen as well.
Oh, sure.
His props as well, and he had a good year as well. So last year, Carolina's defense, last overall, last against the pass, last against the run, last on third down, last in the red zone. You try to address it in the offseason, but the schedule, they don't play a single team expected to have a winning record before playing the Bills in Week 8. They play just 5 opponents all year expected to have a winning record. Young and the offense play the second easiest schedule of defenses this year. Hello. That could be offense, big numbers, and I agree with what he says with McMillan, but also we want to take some Thielen, too, with the trust factor, veteran, and the rapport they had last year.
Yeah, like if you think that Bryce Young is capable of making a year 3 kind of leap with Dave Canales as the head coach, that schedule to begin the season is like Charmin soft.
I can't, but yeah.
And they should be able to bank at least a couple 3 wins, you would think, before they play the Bills. The defense is going to be a problem, though, again this year.
Yes, those are scary numbers.
Okay, so one more here in this segment from Ryan Heath, again, VSiN.com. He, again, wrote and gave fantasy advice or a player prop suggestion for one player in every single team. Very good stuff here. And with the Broncos, he wrote that despite their lead back and primary pass-catching running back in 2024 being the washed, his words, washed Javonte Williams, the Broncos led the NFL in target share to the backfield at 21.3%. And before that, Sean Payton's running backs have a long history of leading the NFL in fantasy points. None of the Broncos' backfield members crushed it for fantasy last year due to the workload being split between several subpar options, but overall usage stats like the one above point to the massive potential fantasy value that remains there. He shared a tweet from Scott Barrett, who's awesome on fantasy. When you go back to 2011, Sean Payton coached teams rank by team running back points per game in fantasy. Last year, they ranked 6th. 2022 doesn't count. 2021 are not available. 2021, they were 21st. From 2011 to 2020, they had 6 first-place finishes, and they were in the top 6 in 10 of the 12 years. So Ryan continues to point out that explosive pass-catching running backs can essentially be fantasy football gold in Sean Payton's systems. Williams never fit that mold, but he points out that round 2 rookie running back R.J. Harvey absolutely does, and he kind of compared him to Alvin Kamara when he was with the Saints. And when Ryan came on with us a couple of weeks ago, he shared this bet, but I'll remind you and tell the new audience here that his bet here for the Broncos is R.J. Harvey to win Offensive Rookie of the Year at 20-1. So this is the last paragraph that he shared before he gave out the bet. He said Ashton Genty would likely need to miss some time or be held back by a mediocre Raiders offense for the bet below to hit. But Harvey's Offensive Rookie of the Year odds are quite appealing to me in a rookie class that lacks many standout quarterbacks to compete for the award.
Well, I just think that's crazy. Plus 250. Are we sure the Raiders are going to be that good offensively?
Oh, there's
Maybe,
no way
but,
you can make that bet.
What kind of numbers are you going to get? Can they run the ball? They couldn't last year.
Yep.
I think he's going to be a good pro. But I think Cam Ward plus 350 is also ridiculous. How many games are they going to win?
I'm not going to touch that bet.
And for him to have the same, Harvey, to have the same odds as Sanders at DraftKings at least. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's going to have an impact. Who knows when Sanders is going to get on the field. But I'd much rather have Hunter, Harvey, and just losses coming with Ward. A lot of mistakes, growing pains, and plus 250 is wild with Genty.
Yeah, can't do that. I mean, the guy could, injury plays into it as well. Their schedule is an absolute bear. So, and he's probably going to be a lot of the focal point of the offense, along with Brock Bowers, obviously. But to remind people, Alvin Kamara won the Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2017 over Deshaun Watson. That was an incredible race between handful of guys. Kamara was taken to the 3rd round, and he pulled it off because he was so good. Again, but he was so dynamic as a pass-catching running back out of the backfield that he was a target monster and also very effective at running the football. So 20-1 on him. I still can't believe some of those numbers before the draft on Harvey that were available. We've seen the tickets. They were sent to us on Twitter. When we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, there was 150-1 on Harvey before the draft.
Yes, I know. But damn.
Are you serious?
Great, I know. Otani just went deep again.
That's hard to believe. So he now has 37.
Yeah. Oh, man. How many in a row now?
That's 5 games in a row, I think.
Yep. He just went deep again.
He is. We are watching him lock up the National League MVP, unfortunately. That's going to be something when, come playoff time, he's going to be the game 1 starter and probably going to have to go 6 innings, and then what's the offense going to be like from him, too?
Great stuff like this in our NFL betting guide. Our college guide drops August 5th. To get both, become a subscriber and join the team. The VSiN Pro offer through the Super Bowl, just $175. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, the on-demand shows via the VSiN Watch app, the analytics tools and pro systems. It expires next Thursday after the Hall of Fame game starts. $175 through the Super Bowl. Lock it in now, your football special. VSiN.com/subscribe. All the division previews, the props, great stuff by the crew, and then the college one drops August 5th. Get it now, VSiN.com/subscribe.
All the stuff for the college guide from everybody here at the network, it's due before August 1st. How much you plan on having in that bad boy? I was going through some of the stuff last night. I'm like, I still need a while here to get all my predictions in for all these leagues.
Plus, we've only done a couple of conferences with Paul Stone, too. Paul has usually some unbelievable breakdowns and selections. But we've only done a couple of conferences with him as well. He's on tomorrow, Big Ten ACC.
Here's one prediction for you. I think the number on Clemson to win the ACC is going to turn into odds on maybe even before the season starts. It's down to as low as like plus 105. They're minus 175, by the way, to make the ACC title game. Professional sports bettor and reigning champ in the Circa Football Invitational, Chuck Edel, on the program coming up next. We'll get some win totals in the NFL from Chuck here on VSiN.
Season the sharp way with a VSiN Pro subscription. Right now, grab our football special for just $175. An early bird deal that gives you full VSiN access through the Super Bowl. That includes our NFL betting guide, loaded with team previews, power ratings, and season-long best bets. Plus, pro picks sent to your inbox daily, betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, live shows on the VSiN Watch app, and so much more. Don't wait. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. We're live in downtown Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Big fan of our first guest today on the program. Known him for a long, long time. He's been betting sports for a long, long time as well. And last year here at Circa and on VSiN on the Friday Football Invitational, what a run. Full season, 7 picks a week for the full year. He went 79, 44, and 3 to take down the title. That's an incredible record. The Iceman, Chuck Edel, joins the program now on the Progressive Guest Line. Good afternoon, Chuck. Thanks for the time. How you been?
Hey, great. Doing great. Good to talk to you guys, and even happy to start talking some football again.
Love having you on the show. Thanks for the time. We appreciate that. Let's start here because contestants last year in the contest were only allowed to use 4 college totals per week out of 7 plays. You told us during the break there would have been weeks where you would have used 7. You prefer to use college totals. But when it comes to win totals, you don't bet many teams with their win totals in college football. In fact, you only have 1 this year. Why is that?
Yeah, and there's a few reasons. There's a lot of guys who bet the season win totals. I always feel like it's a little bit of a gamble. I prefer to go week by week. I have more information on every team week by week, and I think it's it's definitely when you do the season win totals now more than ever when you have all the nil program and the transfers. I mean, these teams have all new chemistry, so the majority of these teams. And it just makes it pretty tough. You're never sure how the chemistry is going to go and how teams are going to fare with all the new players. And to me, personally, it's more of a gamble but there is guys out there who do well with them, but that's just not my cup of tea for sure.
All right, so the one that you like this year is Air Force. You like them over 5.5. Tell us why.
And first of all, let me stipulate, Air Force doesn't accept transfers and they don't sign no players, I don't believe. So we know what we're getting here with Air Force, not like some of the other teams where you're not sure what you're getting. But so the Air Force team, as we know, they build up. They start the team with the freshmen. They build up and they keep their players. In 2021, this team won 10 games. The next year they won 10 games. 2023 they won 9 games, and last year they just had a depleted team. They only had 2 offensive starters return. They had to replace all 3 running backs and their fullback. And if you know this Air Force system, that's very, very tough to do with bringing inexperienced guys. They run a complicated system. So you got that out of the way. Now this year, they're going to have a much more experienced team. Last year, they actually lost their first 7 games. They did finish strong, though. They won their last 4 games of the season, and they beat some good teams. They beat Fresno. They beat an Oregon State team. They beat Nevada. They beat San Diego State. So the improvement was there. They showed it in the last 4 games. They ran the ball much better. So this year they have 8 offensive starters returning, including most of the offensive line, who also plays a crucial part in that offensive system. They're very deep at running back. They're more experienced at the defense. So the system, this type of team, that gets better and better with the experienced guys, and that's what they have this year. The total's 5.5. Now, it is juiced up a little bit. You're going to have to lay some juice with it, but I did play that one over the 5.5.
All right, very good. The king of NFL preseason. He'll be on with us as well. Coming up, NFL preseason and college totals. Chuck Edel, our guest. NFL now. I'm interested to see what you think about this team. They're ready to put May in the Hall of Fame back in New England. Vrabel as low as 6-1, 7-1 in some spots to win Coach of the Year. How about Patriots win total 8.5? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm always looking to take advantage of the overhyped type stuff, Paulie, and this is one of those teams. I mean, I love Vrabel. He's an excellent coach, but the total on this team is 8.5. He's taken over a really bad roster. In fact, he's turned over like 50% of the roster already. That shows you how bad it was. The last 2 years, New England's won 4 games each year. Their offensive line last year finished 31st in pass block win rate. They did draft offensive lineman Will Campbell in the first round, and they signed a couple of guys this year, a couple free agents. So we'll see how they do and how they gel together. But that's always a risk with the offensive lineman. There's no sure thing there. And then there's a lot of stock, that's being put into Drake May, like you said. I'm not sold on Drake May. We'll see. See if he can prove me wrong. But boy, he's getting a lot of good publicity, and I don't feel like he's done anything crazy yet. First of all, he has to learn Josh McDaniels' system, okay? We know Josh McDaniels runs a complicated system. He has struggled with it so far in practices. Josh McDaniels, he's got the name from the Tom Brady, obviously. Look at the other quarterbacks, though, that try to learn Josh McDaniels' system that played under him. Derek Carr had his worst season he ever had under Josh McDaniels. Matt Castle, who knew the system, so he did play decent. He played as Brady's backup there for a while in New England. He knew the system. Then you get Kyle Orton. Sam Bradford was horrible. Cam Newton, horrible. Mac Jones, horrible. So we're counting on, May learning the system and playing well in it. And, he's still a quarterback who most of his success last year came when they were trailing in games. It's kind of like the guy who hits the home runs. They're down 8-0. He hit a 3-run homer. Well, yeah, he always does it when they're down 8-0. It doesn't really help. And that's not Drake May's fault because they were always losing games. But a lot of his success came that way. They only won 4 games last year. One of those was against your favorite quarterback on Buffalo, Mitch Trubisky, because they had all the backups in on week 18. So you take that one, and they really have 3 wins. And they're still weak at wide receiver. They do bring in Diggs. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing with a young quarterback. I don't think I would have made that move with a young quarterback, but we do know he has talent. The defense will be improved, but it's a tall task. 8.5 wins just seems crazy to me, and I like it to go under 8.5.
Great angle. I love that. That's dynamite analysis as well. Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, the Iceman, Chuck Edel, last year's Friday Night Football Invitational winner here at Circa with a record of 79, 44, and 3. We are kind of butting heads on your final win total here. I bet Vikings over 8.5 with very small limited juice much earlier in the season. It's been moved to 9.5. We can both win this. You like under 9.5. Why is that?
Yeah, let's hope it lands on 9, Mitch. Well, first of all, another, I went under New England. I'm a big Vrabel fan. I'm a big fan of Kevin O'Connell too. Great coach. But the first thing that obviously jumps out at you is an unproven quarterback. So we're not sure yet how they're going to do with J.J. McCarthy. But the main thing that jumps off the page to me, Mitch, is the schedule for this Vikings team. First of all, they play in the Central Division, so they got to play the Bears, who I think are improved this year. They got to play the Bears twice. They got to play Detroit twice. They got to play Green Bay twice. Then you look at their out-of-conference schedule. They play Atlanta. They play the Cincinnati Bengals. They play the Steelers. They play the Super Bowl Eagles. They play the Chargers. They play the Ravens. They play Seattle. They play Washington, the Cowboys, who are kind of down. But that's a tough schedule right there. So you're asking J.J. McCarthy to go in there and beat these experienced powerhouse teams. There's a lot of good teams on that schedule. And I know they have a lot of solid offense around them. There's no question. They signed some offensive linemen this year. That was one of the problems last year. But they're banged up a little bit. We'll see how they come back. 2 of their guys on the offensive line still aren't ready to play here. They're hoping they're going to be ready for the season. There's a chance that Addison, their wide receiver, might be suspended for a couple games. He did plead guilty to a situation that happened, a driving situation. So there's a chance that he could get suspended. The secondary lost half its guys. I think they lost 3 of their top 6 secondary players. And so we'll see. A lot of question marks. You're asking to go, to win, to beat me, you're going to have to win 10 games against that schedule that I just mentioned. And you also have an unproven quarterback. So I thought that it was worth a little juice on the under. I think it was like -35. I went under 9.5, -35 though.
Very good. Okay. Very good. What about a minute? You're a Chicago guy. What do you think of the Bears and Johnson?
Well, I think they're going to be improved, no question. To use horse racing lingo, a lot of times, like when you're handicapping horse racing, you have some Dumbo jockey in there. And all of a sudden now you put on, a Hall of Fame jockey. Well, there's going to be a big improvement when you take the bad jockey off and you put the good jockey on the horse. I think it's the same thing here. You're talking about horrendous coaching the Chicago Bears had up and down the coaching staff. And now you're a huge improvement. So already that tells me they're going to improve. They've done a lot of good they've done a lot of good signing of players. I think they're poised for a good season.
Yeah.
Hope you're right.
Yeah, Chuck, that was great. Thanks for the time. We'll catch up during the preseason, okay?
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. He is the reigning Friday Night Football Circa Invitational winner, a record of 79-44-3. That's absurd.
Looking back with the record, too, also with the college totals. Winner. Remember, he had a 20-1 run on our show.
That's right, handful of years ago.
All college totals.
Every one. And he would come on, by the way, like on Fridays.
Yeah.
Right? Do I have that right? On Friday
and
mornings.
And lines would move, and he'd still say they still think there's value in it.
But lines would be out for basically the whole week. Yeah. He's coming on Fridays going 20-1.
It's incredible.
God. Win Some, Lose Some is up next. And the more Scottie Scheffler talks, the more I like him.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays. Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Always a fun prop. Most runs scored, Twins, 25-1. They get it done, take out the Dodgers, which is also the highest scoring game yesterday on the card, 12-1. Guardians, $1.35 up to 155. One again. WNBA, Sky Lynx under. 163.5 to 158.5, fell 159, and the Lynx 11 up to 15.5. Comfortable win, horrible start to the second half for the Sky, which meant they pulled Reese, who finished with 11 points and 11 boards.
Yeah.
Tough one.
You had over points, I had over rebounds, and she had 5 rebounds with almost 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lost that one.
Oh, that's crazy.
Rough.
Yeah, that's tough. And they just beat them like right before the All-Star break. But that was a 3-point game with like 2 minutes left till halftime, and then it was like a bam, 9-0 run, and that's it. Wings 2-1 beat the Storm, and the under 165.5 down to 161.5. That's a winner. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos, send them in. We'll put you on at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram like Winky Duck. Winky Duck sends these in all the time. That's his niece's dog, and he does this every day. We're just sitting down in the corner, and the dog licks his face, wagging the tail. Loves it.
Kissing the nose.
Kissing the nose, right?
Yeah.
How you doing? Great. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Can't get enough of this.
A little bit more than the nose?
The dog loves it. Yep, right. That's great. That is awesome. Look how excited the dog is. There we go. Okay, that's good. That's good. But he does it every single day. That's Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. Also, they sent this one in with a little compilation. Look at the German Shepherd coming in with the running start. Coming right on the bed, jumping in, little drool, right? He comes flying in.
Right to the camera.
Uh-huh, right. It's always a good compilation with the coming up to sleep with the owner, get in the bed, or like that one where the dog comes in from the garage and jumps in the car with the window down. Here's a dog coming in. Coming in hot, right up on the bed. Excellent. Lose some. The A's plus 210 down to plus 180. No good. One mistake by DeGrom, and that was it. Futures on Texas, can you get there?
You brought that up yesterday.
I think they're going to get a stick. You could do this.
Their offense has been better, by the way.
Yeah,
Much
yes,
better
they have
than
been.
the beginning of the season.
Averaging 5 runs a game going back during a hot streak, right? And to update this, Tigers lost again. They got swept in Pittsburgh. They've lost 9-10, and they've been outscored 66-26. Unbelievable. No good. Before the line moves, Sharp Plays is already there. They don't follow the market. They help shape it. You're not going to outmuscle billion-dollar books or full-time sharps all by yourself. With the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Backed by advanced AI, connected to trusted insider sources, Sharp Plays delivers the kind of edge serious bettors count on every day. Free reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights, straight to your inbox or X feed. Not some side hustle. They've been with Follow the Money since day one, and he's been doing this since 2011. Jeff has the documented results, logs, and receipts right there. SharpPlays.com. Trusted by the pros, watched by the books. Visit SharpPlays.com and stay ahead of the line, stay ahead of the game. Great response yesterday to the, without Googling, name a movie where the villains win. Inside Man, great response. FTM at VSiN.com, or you can tweet at us. You mentioned that you were rooting for the bad guys in Heat. De Niro and Val Kilmer.
No doubt.
And you could argue that Val Kilmer got away.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, he survived the shot to the head, although he lost the wife. Actually, judge says no more, that's it. But Chris gets away with it. As John Boyd says, hey, free country, brother. And he takes off, and they got out of there with the cash with the last robbery.
Well, yesterday, if anything, reminded me that, first of all, of the movies that I have never watched before, like Inside Man, I need to go and absolutely check that out.
You'll love it.
But it's been far too long since I've watched Saw. That was on my list. The villain absolutely wins. Part 1 is unbelievable. I have watched Primal Fear recently, actually, but I have not watched No Country for Old Men in many, many years. So I need to go back. And Bardem, again, is like elite as a villain there and gets away. It's gruesome at the end when he breaks his arm, but very good movie.
This was good, too. So you mentioned the more you see his interviews, the more you like him with Scheffler, who you thought he was a drip, but the guy's developing a personality, and now he's got some good interviews as well, and then what happened before one of the majors last year. But he had a good answer about my job doesn't define me. And he got to a good point here, which you'll hear in a second, but this got a lot of traction on social media, which was a long answer, too, about, if I win, okay, great, but I got the family now, I got the kid, I got the wife, and it goes back to discussion we had, I think, last year, or maybe a couple years ago. Best thing in the world would be a pro golfer. You can walk down the street, no one knows who you are. And remember what we looked up Lee Westwood's career earnings?
Oh, sure, yeah,
or whatever it is, how much money these guys make. You walk down the street, no one bothers them, you don't know who they are.
Yeah, unless you're like Tiger, Rory, some of the other, best of all time. Scheffler is certainly in that category right now, and he's going to be more recognizable as he continues to win. But a lot of these guys, they could walk in right behind us right now, and people would have no idea who they are. Right? If they're wearing a hat, walk right up to the counter, give me $10,000 tonight on a baseball game, sure. Nobody knows who they are. But you're right. This was his answer. And again, he went down. He gets in. This is actually kind of funny the way he talks about it. But he gets into why winning tournaments isn't like the be-all, end-all for him.
I've said it for a long time. Golf is not how I identify myself. I don't identify myself by winning tournaments, chasing trophies, being famous or whatever it is. Like when I go home, if I go to there's 2 Chipotles that I eat at home. There's one, well, actually not really one anymore. There's one right where I grew up. It's kind of near SMU's campus. If I was to go to that Chipotle and try to eat nowadays, it would be very difficult for me. There's another one in a different part of town that I'm not going to tell you where it is. But if I go there, nobody recognizes me ever. And so famous is just one of those things. It's like in some circles, like, right now, I'm the best player in the world. This week, I was the best player in the world. I'm sitting here with the trophy. We're going to start all over in Memphis, back to even par. The show goes on. And it's hard to describe what it feels like because, I don't feel any different because I've won a golf tournament. This is not the be-all, end-all for me, but I'm extremely grateful for it. I mean, I have, kid you not, I have worked since I was 2 or 3 years old to have a chance to play professional golf for a living. And now I've been able to win tournaments that I just dreamed of playing in. And it's an amazing feeling, and I'm so grateful to be able to live out my dreams. But, like I said, my faith in my family is what's most important to me. And I try to live as normal a life as possible because I feel like a normal guy. I have the same friends I had growing up. I don't think that I'm anything special just because, some weeks I'm better at shooting a lower score than other guys are.
That's pretty damn good perspective.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's an awesome answer.
Yeah.
Like it was leading into the Open last week when he kind of said the same thing. Like, I get it. How long, if you're a golfer, how long are you expected to celebrate after a win? A month? Well, he doesn't take many tournaments off. Like, he's right back at it on Thursday morning. Let's go, pal. As he said, everybody's at even par. Mm-hmm. So I get what he's talking about. It also tells me that...
Koepka gets after it, though.
Well,
I mean, that guy will celebrate for...
But that's the thing, right? And I heard Humans and Tim Murray talking about this the other night, and I thought they were spot on. Koepka is completely fallen off the cliff.
Absolutely.
And he
signed
an insane deal with Liv. And at that point, it's like, I have more money than God, so who cares what I do with my life and if I win ever again? Does it feel to you like Scottie Scheffler is going to take that same path? Not to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, until he hangs him up and finally says, I don't want to play anymore, that day, he might pull a Barry Sanders, by the way. Like, I don't have any more joy playing this game, doing it every single week, the grind. I want to be with my family. That might come sooner than later. But in the meantime, I would fully expect him to be, like, the best player in the world every single tournament that he's on the course.
I also believe the story. He goes to the Chipotle, and no one bothers him or knows who he is.
Yeah. That, for somebody
every
like that, it's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Put the hat on. Go get your burrito. In and out.
Sure.
Piece of cake.
Big Chipotle guy, huh?
That was surprising, I know.
How about that? Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big portion.
Do you know where Chipotle ranked in recent years in Matt Human's fast food ranking list?
Mid-20s?
Probably.
Mid-30s? August 7th.
Lower than that, maybe?
Studio. He's going out with a bang. Final rankings, August 7th.
How many times a day do you have a hankering for fast food? Twice?
No, I'm not even close to Humans. I can't believe he does that.
Who can?
Oh, my God. He plans the day of taking the trip, go over here. Every time he comes in here after us, he's got the cup ready from where we just ate. He's got the cup.
Sure.
I did Subway today.
I feel like Arby's
Taco
tonight.
Bell, right.
Tomorrow, I really got to tell you, Long John Silver sounds good to me.
Well, I also tell you, Long John's advertising works. It also depends what you're watching on television. Hey, you got the new item here at Taco Bell, or hey, this McDonald's has got this. All right, I'll give that a shot.
Mm-hmm. We need in this city. God, we need a Culver's and we need a Portillo's.
That's right. And I'm glad we snuck Culver's in. We were in Omaha. Had to do it.
Yeah, me too.
What a menu. What a menu. So clean.
Super deep.
And how clean the restaurant is. A+.
Mike Palm, full hour coming up next. He gleaned strong intel last year, enough so at Mountain West Media Days to fire a bet on Ashton Genty to win the Heisman Trophy at super long odds. What floated around the grapevine this year during Mountain West Conference Media Days? We'll ask him coming up next.
Introducing the $500 trifecta. Use your GBank Visa signature credit card within 3 months of account opening and deposit